Well, hello traders, and welcome back to another or today's daily watch list. Remember that this watch list is for VIPs only. Um, so please don't share the link because it's not posted publicly on our YouTube channel, right? So we're going to start by looking at the GBP USD. And the GBP USD continues to be in bull territory. In my opinion, we are trading above that point of control, and we are trading above that level of or the previous lows. We are still making higher lows, right? Yes, we are capped to the upside by the weekly pivot. So this range, to be completely and utterly bullish, we need to break with the weekly highs and this range on the GBP USD. But if you look at this 4 hour candle, it looks pretty damn bullish if you ask me. Now looking at the shorter term, the GBP USD is actually looking to move higher from here. So we are going to be trading that upside on the GBP USD as well, right? Let's go and let's have a look at the EURUSD. Today's watch is going to be a little bit fast because there's absolutely nothing has happened in the markets since we talked yesterday, right? So here we go. This is the Euro US dollar as predicted, right? We encountered this very thick area of resistance, but if we look at the shorter time frame, right, the hourly and the 4 hour chart, right, the 4 hour chart shows the Euro USD rejecting the previous highs, right, and rejecting the weekly pivot. So we do have an opportunity to go long here on the Euro US dollar at the break of these highs with a very nice risk to reward ratio for a nice day trade, which we are going to be sending in a jiffy, right? Yeah, everything that we have been waiting for. If you have patience, you see, if you have real patience, the setups are going to be they're going to be developing in front of your eyes, right? I'm going to I'm going to stop this video just for a bit because I'm going to be sending that Euro USDC. All right, there you go. The Euro US dollar long signal has been sent. So we can continue. So like I told you here, the Euro USD analysis is available here. I'm not going to write an article because it's redundant. But having said that, let's go ahead and let's have a look on why we're going long, right? We're going long because even though on the daily, right, even though on the daily we are at this thick level of resistance, we are looking at a possible day trade, right? So we're looking at a trapping around 33 pips with a nice 29 pip stop loss. So better than 1-to-1 on this day trade. And if you look closely, what's going on here is we are rejecting the previous highs, right? We are trading inside of a bull flag right here. This is a pennant, okay? If we go here, you can see that this pennant is actually at support. Now, we are not going to go long right now because we are still inside of this very structure, right? We need for this structure to break in order for us to be able to go long. And that breakup will be at the break of the previous highs right here. So if we break with the previous highs, there's going to be enough bullish momentum to give us a nice break to the upside. Also, if you notice here, we made a higher low. My oscillator shows very nice bullish divergence, right? So we're waiting for that break on the oscillator too, and everything points out at a good trade on this one. right? So that's the Euro USD. That's how we find trades here. I mean, even though I closed my long-term longs on the Euro USD, which I was happy with, very nice gains. This day trade, this day trade to the 121.17. So we're looking at a possible retest of the highs on the daily. It's a nice high probability trade. US dollar, Canadian dollar still is still looking like shit. I'm not gonna touch this. The Aussie USD on the daily looks extremely bearish, right? If you look at the Aussie USD, yesterday we were discussing the possibility of going long, that we've missed that possibility by the break of these highs, right? But also we're looking at this area, this thick zone. Why don't we add some? Why don't we add a volume profile to see where the point of control really is on this last move to the upside, right? I reckon it's going to be around those levels. So we are going to change that into a red, right? And well, the point of control is actually here, right? This is where the point of control is. So we are trading above the point of control and above the weekly pivot. And on the shorter time frame right here, this looks very rangy and also looks like a possible bullish continuation, but the Euro USD trade is way cleaner. So the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, right? So what is this? Horizontal ray. All right, so I'm actually going to delete or remove the drawings. On the daily, I was looking at this level of resistance, right? And to be completely honest, the Kiwi looks very weak against majors, right? It looks extremely weak against all majors, and but we are still inside of this structure, right? This is the structure that the Kiwi is trading against the US dollar on the higher time frames, right? This is the daily. Let's add some volume profile here to see where that point of control really is on the last move up. Yep, we're going to do from these lows, right? We could also do just here, right? The point of control on such a rangy market is going to be practically the same, right? Maybe I don't know. Yes, I think green. Well, I'll do that right now. A blue? No. A black? Yeah, let's do black. It doesn't matter actually. Right. So yeah, we are trading above that point of control, right? But it's really a thick volume area that we have right here. That we have right here. Very thick volume area that we have right here. And on the 4-hour chart, we are still trading inside of this structure, right? Even though, well, not even though, we are still trading inside of a bullish structure. Not only we break with the weekly pivot and these lows, I'm going to consider a short. Yeah, on the 1-hour chart, I mean, it looks extremely bullish still. This flat highs is what's screaming short to me, but I'm going to wait for that trade to develop, and we're not going to do anything about that right now. Now, the US dollar Japanese yen already sent you a signal to go long. I'm going to write an article on this one, so we're going to go to the US dollar versus the Swiss franc. The US dollar versus the Swiss franc again. It still looks bearish to me, but we are retesting these previous highs, right? I mean, it's not very clean on the daily. And this doesn't look like a reversal pattern at all, but what we can do here It's just a wait for maybe the 92 10 level to break in order to consider a long. But well, we haven't looked at the US dollar. The US dollar. Why don't we have a look at the US dollar right now? So the US dollar yesterday had a little bit of a rally, right? Again, we're going to look at the 1 hour chart here. It had a little bit of a rally, but again, this looks very much like a bear flag. On the news, we've had we hadn't had um, um, a lot of news. We did have a bond auction on Germany here. Average yield is super negative on the German bond. But yeah, um, we haven't had like super news that are moving the markets, right? So this looks like a bear flag. I mean, just have a look at this, right? Before breaking with the lows, I expected, like I told you yesterday, a pullback to the previous lows to this level right here, and the weekly pivot, right? Because this bearish move looked exhausted, right? If you look at this move look exhausted, and there was no momentum for bulls to break with this level of support. So, I mean, this rally or the rally that we saw yesterday is no more than a bear flag, right? So if we break and when we break with these lows, there's going to be a lot of bearish momentum that is going to push the US dollar lower, right? That is going to give our Euro USD trade some wings. Now let's have a look at gold. Gold. We are still holding on to that sell stop in gold. Gold is doing pretty much nothing at the moment. Right here, if you notice, hold on. Now that I remember, I need to manage a trade, so I'll be right. All right, trade managed. So yeah, I mean, gold is doing pretty much nothing, but we are still sitting here in this big level of our resistance, the retest of these previous lows, right? And this move to the upside looks exhausted, in my opinion. Now, this looks like more like a reversal pattern than a actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, right? So I'm going to be deleting this because of the lack of follow through to the upside. I might still be wrong, but it's looking more of a weird double-headed shoulders formation than anything else. Now, if we compare it to the DXY, why don't we do that? The XY, US dollar currency index, but I wanted to be closed up, right? So yeah, I mean the if you look at this, I mean it gold has followed the DXY's move, right? But in my opinion, mates, right here, if gold fails to move higher, right, and break with this high, the previous week's highs, and it's failing to break even with this week's highs, it's going to be very difficult for bulls to push through. Now, having said that, so this is the 4 hour chart. We're going to have a look at the hourly chart, right? The hourly chart, looks like there's absolutely nothing going on. But if you look at what happened in historic price action and what happened from these highs right here, this big bearish push, right? This is the level that bulls are protecting, and this is why we have our sell stops below these lows, right? But also bears are protecting this level. So there is a big fight between bulls and bears in this trading range, and we need to stay out of it, right? Let them raise. But again, this looks like a bear flag. If it looks like a bear flag, it feels like a bear flag, must be a bear flag. Trade what you see and what you think. Having said that, we might move or we might manage our sell stops a little bit higher, maybe below the daily lows. Maybe not. I haven't yet decided on doing anything, but that's gold, people. Right. Equities. The US 500, the S&P 500. I just closed a ton more. We actually printed a new all-time high yesterday, and I closed almost all of my trade. Actually, yeah, I'm just holding a little bit of that trade to let it ride. Um, but I mean, but it's looking quite difficult for bulls to push higher, right? Um, and uh, and because of that, right, I decided to close more of my trade and profit, big profits, and because of how price action is trading, right, there's a probability to get a deep pullback at least to a weekly pivot, these previous highs, uh, previous lows, etc. Before big bulls or big money, or yeah, big bulls, big buyers jump in to move price higher. Now, I was looking at the Dow doing exactly that, right? The Dow failed to make all-time highs and now is trading above around the weekly pivot. I am not a buyer on the Dow at all. Um, but again, if we move lower, I'm going to put on an alert here, right? If we move lower to retest these levels, I will definitely be a buyer, right? Buys in play. Maybe. Yeah, and I say maybe because I mean, if price moves to this level, I'm not going to be blindly buying. I'm going to need some kind of a rejection. But if price moves below that level, I'll definitely be a seller on the Dow. So that's why I said maybe, maybe. Yeah, I am funny, right? So the German DAX, yeah, the German DAX, we sent a signal on the German DAX. Um, uh, I'm going to write an article on that. And finally, yes, Ripple, uh, ripping higher, like we said yesterday, price was trading at this level. Now we have hit the 145, $1.45. I missed that because I had buy limit at the weekly pivot and price failed to fill me in, right? Bitcoin, on the other hand, is still looking. Um, I know, so I'm going to get some hate out of this, but it's still looking bearish, right? Uh, by failing to break with the previous broken level, right? And I'm not saying that we should be a seller, but if Bitcoin breaks with these lows, right, and fails to break with these highs, there's a high probability that we're going to be retesting these lows. So heads up to that. And Ethereum, Ethereum, they're doing absolutely nothing, and Litecoin, this is something that I don't trade. So why don't we go ahead and finish our daily watch list on that, and let's rock this week.